Okay, so I already know this is not it. Is this a PvP thing? It's a 60-player face-off in a battle royale inspired Plunderstorm. Dude, if this is PvP, that people are gonna lose their shit. And funnily enough, there's a girl on Twitter, Chrissy, who called this, who said, "Watch this event be a PvP event." Um, let's see. Fuck me, that is very loud. Holy shit. We may turn this down now. Holy shit, I think I just blew my fucking eardrums off.
Ahoy there! Hope you're ready for a bit of plundering fun. All hands on deck! Time to see what ye sea dogs are made of! There be treasure awaiting! Oh, ho, ho. The plundering adventure's about to begin.
All right, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's risky. I think if it is what I think it is, now I'm not entirely sure what it is because it doesn't actually go into a whole lot of detail. Join the devs. Okay, let's see. Here we go. There's another video here. All right, here we go. Now I can probably, because I'm going to say this before we even get into this. Here's what I will say. If this is a PvP event, I think that's a massive failure. Because there's a lot of people that don't like PvP, myself included. And I think that could lead to a lot of people being super upset. If, however, this is more like a PvP event, in other words, you can sign up either for PvP or for PvE, I think that is going to be a lot better because it does look super fun. It does actually look crazy fun. It looks like a fun, just sort of go in there any time of the day and just bang it out. You know, just have a good time wailing on people. But if it's straight up just PvP and there really is nothing else to it, like there are PvE elements, but most of it is just fighting constantly, this feels like a massive risk from Blizzard. I'm not saying it will fail. I think there's a lot of people that's passing judgment way too quickly because you're sort of immediately jumping to the conclusion this will obviously fail. We need to see how it's balanced. We need to see how it actually plays. If you don't want to partake in PvP, is there a way for you not to partake in PvP? And if you do partake in PvP, is this going to just make you stupidly overpowered? Because that can also be fun, right? If there's all sorts of abilities all hanging around the game and you can run around and be absolutely bonkers gods by the end of the game with sort of like a battle royale kind of get gear, but this way you get magic and shit. That could absolutely be super fun. And I think even I would enjoy that. I want from the start that this is risky. Because you kept everything secret, which allowed a lot of people to build this hype in their minds for what it could be, right? And now if it launches and there's a decent enough group of players that aren't enthused by this, you've upset a lot of players. It really is shit. It's basically like saying you're going to wait to have sex until your wedding night. And then your wedding night arrives and you have a micro penis, right? That's basically it. That's similar feels for the goal, obviously, in that scenario, but you understand what I'm saying.
Hey everyone, welcome to Wowcast. We have a very exciting topic today, and with me I have two special guests.
Hi, I'm Orlando Salvatore. I'm a lead software engineer on WoW.
Hi, Bethany. Happy to be here. I'm Jeremy Fiesel. I'm Associate Game Director on WoW.
So, what is that black flag on the roadmap for 2024?
So when we were thinking about what we wanted to deliver to the players in 2024, what we ended up landing on was that we wanted to do something a little bit different.
If this isn't an evergreen system, I'm going to be super disappointed, bro. You've spent all this resources and all this time making this thing. It needs to be an evergreen system. And I'm not saying that it always needs to stay the same, but, you know, you can every few patches make some changes to it, make some significant changes to it, add some new mounts and pets to it. But this needs to be an evergreen system. Otherwise, this is going to be super annoying because you know it's going to be super buggy for the first month or so, maybe a little bit longer. And Blizzard's going to spend all this time fixing it, making it perfect. Then it's going to get perfect just before the next patch, and then it completely disappears. That's going to be, that's going to be so annoying, bro. Because we spent all this time basically beta testing the fucking thing. It finally got good, and now you removed it. And we already know that it is a FOMO event. But we know that it's a limited time event. My hope is that it's a limited time event insofar as it's a once or twice a week limited time. So say, for example, it only opens on weekends. So from Friday evening, 6 o'clock until Sunday morning or Monday morning, 9 o'clock, you can spam this. And then it goes down for a week. That, fine, no problem. It sort of allows players to do the stuff that they enjoy throughout the week and then jump into it on weekends and just no-life it for the weekend. I think that's fine, especially while you're working out the kinks and fixing all the bugs. Maybe next patch you make it now just always on, no longer a FOMO event. But if it's like only for 2 weeks and then it goes away forever, that's going to feel super
Than the things that we did previously in Dragonflight. So that's what we're here to talk about today. It's a brand new event, and we're calling it Plunderstorm. It is a pirate-themed, battle royale-inspired event that takes place entirely within World of Warcraft and is available for all active WoW subscribers. All that said, what do we feel like is like the 3 sentences that encapsulates the coolest parts about it?
So Plunderstorm is World of Warcraft's take on a battle royale. It's an action-oriented game that lets you customize your build and basically your class every single match.
That's exactly what I was hoping for. Remember I said, if it allows you to sort of make yourself stupidly overpowered just by getting different abilities, discovering different shit, that could be super cool. I wonder if you're going to go into it like as your warlock, and then all of your abilities are going to be warlock abilities, or if every player goes into it as a nothing. Like, in other words, there are no macro classes. It's basically just a bunch of abilities that you collect, and those are your abilities, and you have to look for the right abilities to make a proper build out of those. That could be, dude, that is a winner.
You'll be able to start collecting abilities through chests and by killing monsters, even killing other players, all while trying to avoid a collapsing storm that is pushing players together. Whoever is the last team standing ends up winning. And you don't need to go through a quest line, you don't need to go through any previous content to be able to access this. This is immediately accessible for anybody who's an active WoW player.
We expect even the most casual player to be getting tons of plunder and tons of rewards every day. You might even say that the first minute or two are really a little bit more on the PvE side of things, where you're out fighting monsters, you're collecting a new set of abilities, and there isn't a huge amount of PvP combat until later on in the match. And I think it's important that that's like the core of the game, is the plundering, getting out and collecting chests and collecting items.
Okay, I was a little skeptical before we started this, but it's starting to look up, boys. It's starting to look good.
You don't have to be the last person standing on the map in order to get a whole bunch of rewards. Even just by dropping into the map and completing your starter quest, that gives you a bunch of rewards just for doing the usual things you would do for the first couple of minutes. And so no matter what, you should exit that map with a bunch of plunder, even if you're not the last person standing. So as we were thinking about what the best framework for this would be,
to be fair though, Courtney, the PvP here is very different, right? Because you're thinking of PvP as I'm a mage and I'm going to be fighting rogues and paladins and shit of that nature. That's not the PvP from what I can tell here. The PvP is you find a bunch of abilities throughout the world, and those abilities are going to be different things, right? So you saw one there where there's a chain that you hook someone in, and then you bring them close, and then you have like a gun that you can shoot them with. So it's a very different kind of PvP. It's not the sort of PvP where you need to have this ultimate skill in order to play the game. It's more a case of your build is basically going to be different every single game, because you're not going to find the same abilities every single time. So it's going to be very difficult for people to hyper-optimize this bullshit. And instead, it really does, at least from what they're explaining, it really feels like it's just going to be a super fun, enjoyable experience. Yeah, think of it like a battle royale. In a battle royale, you can't really plan what you're going to be doing, because some games you don't get your sniper rifle. And even though you are super good on your sniper rifle, you didn't get it. So, yeah, too fucking bad, right? Fight with something else. So, yeah, I sort of like this. I think this is that sounds a lot of fun. And also, it's not like a battleground where losing actually has some punishment to it. It sounds a lot more just fun.
It just came to us that, hey, it should actually be an event that feels like it's a little bit outside of the main system. So we talked and we riffed about, hey, what would be the best theme for an event like that? We landed on pirates.
Who doesn't love pirates?
Because who doesn't love pirates? It's a fun theme, but also there's all these different pirate crews around Azeroth, and you've got to ask yourself the question, if you're not the hero of Azeroth, what are you doing on a day-to-day basis?
That's a great question.
So we're gonna actually track some of our civilian NPC friends and play as those characters as one of the pirate crews within Azeroth that isn't the hero of Azeroth. All of that came together to give us this theme of Kegleg's crew and the pirate crew, plundering these relics that are being transported across the Highlands.
What will players see when they jump into this new event?
When players enter this new event, they're going to notice that a lot of their core things that they're used to in World of Warcraft are different. When they get into the main menu, they'll have a brand new option available to them, which is the Plunderstorm button. They click on that, that takes them to a separate menu, which shows their character and...
No way, bro. So this is, you go into character select, hit Plunderstorm, and then you just load right into it? So it's not even like queuing up in the game. It's like a separate queue, bro. I am liking this, boys. I am liking this, not gonna lie to you. This is looking like something we may just play for a bit.
Their friends list, and they'll be able to invite players to their party all through the main menu. Normally you need to go into the game to invite another player into your party, but through Plunderstorm, you're actually inviting them through the main menu. Once you're partied up, or if you want to go in solo, you queue up and load into a match. When you load into a match, you'll notice that you're invited into a pre-game lobby area where you're able to try out new abilities and try different mechanics that exist within Plunderstorm.
So one of the coolest things about designing Plunderstorm has been just figuring out where we can break the rules in World of Warcraft. TLDR, when you're thinking about changing up things that dramatically, it no longer made a huge amount of sense for your main character and everything associated with that character. All of your armor sets and all of the weapons and everything that you've collected over the years and your battle pets and your 36 different abilities doesn't necessarily translate directly into this game mode. We wanted to start fresh and do crazy new abilities.
Yep.
So as Jeremy mentioned, there's going to be brand new abilities that normally you wouldn't see on classes or characters in there, because when you're thinking about developing a warrior ability, you want it to feel very warrior-esque, or you're developing a mage ability.
Just turn into a bush and follow the guy. Although this guy clearly keyboard turned, I'm a little annoyed at that. Look at this
brand new abilities
keyboard
that
turner.
Normally you wouldn't see on classes or characters in there, because when you're thinking about developing a warrior ability,
look at that. Why are you keyboard turning, bro? Like, clearly fucking noob.
You want it to feel very warrior-esque, or you're developing a mage ability, you want it to feel mage-esque. Well, this, you don't have a class. You're actually going to be building a brand new kit every single time you're going into a match. And your builds may vary match to match because it all depends on what drops for you in the match.
Yeah,
even things like auto attack doesn't work like how it works.
I have changed my mind entirely on this thing. This is cool as shit.
Works normally in WoW. It's going to be an active ability that you're constantly using to attack enemies. One thing that's just baked into your experience is that you're going to have a health pot that's always persistent. And we've slimmed down the UI compared to what World of Warcraft normally is. You may be used to the 12 buttons on your main action bar, and then you have a bunch of other action bars you can enable. Well, this actually only has 7 total buttons that you can press on an action.
Oh, shit. Pretty MOBA-esque almost. You don't have too many abilities, so you have to think carefully about the abilities that you add and take out. Oh.
Action bar. When you loot an item, it doesn't go to your bag. You don't have a separate frame that you're opening. Everything gets put directly onto your action bars, and then from there, that's also your spells. So you're able to cast spells, drop abilities, pick up abilities, all to one singular action bar without needing to manage anything else. So we've really streamlined and simplified the experience.
That whole thing, I think, ends up feeling just wildly different than the way World of Warcraft plays right now. Not only is it action-oriented combat, but you're grabbing your abilities from the ground and then putting them on your bar. You can swap the 4 different abilities as you find new and cool things, or that you find certain synergies that work really well together. And then there's different rarities to the abilities too. So you can get everything from uncommon, rare, all the way up to epic levels of these abilities. You get higher level abilities as you progress in the match, but you may also just get one really early in the match, get super lucked out, and you get epic fire whirl right at the very beginning, and then you can go and wreck some people. And that's one of the things I think that makes it super replayable. Not only do you get a kit of abilities that are always going to feel different in every match, but
dude, rip the capital cities in World of Warcraft. Like, who the fuck's going to be in there? Like, who's going to be in there? Why would you be in the capital city? Why would you even log into WoW? Like, you're just, I'm just going to be spamming Battle Royale.
But also, how the power curve changes is also going to feel pretty different every match too.
Yeah, you know, we've experimented around with a lot of different spells and abilities, things that normally we couldn't do in World of Warcraft, and that's intentional as well. We want to make sure that when we're coming up with these brand new abilities, that they feel fresh, they feel awesome to press. It's not just about the min-max, but sometimes it's about the impact, oh man, I'm using an ability and this is just the most awesome ability I've ever seen. That's the type of stuff we want to inspire players to kind of jump into the next match.
Yeah, pretty much. You can think of this as more like an open world-esque kind of Torghast, where, except now, it is what Torghast was supposed to be, right? Where you wouldn't go in with any abilities, and all abilities would be learnt as you're playing through it, which would make every single run super unique, because you don't have the abilities before you go into it, right? So I think the reason this is really cool is because you're not playing your class, and because gear has no real effect here, because you're not even playing your character, it's not going to feel like ordinary World of Warcraft PvP. It's going to feel completely different, right? It's going to have a lot more of just go in there and have fun. Just have a good time, because you're not actually, playing your class. Your class isn't losing. You're just playing a random character, and either you're super OP one game, other game you're super, bonked and nothing works and you just get Goomba stomped on. It's all good because, go next. It'll probably depend also on how long the games are, because generally speaking, if the games are too long, that is again a problem, because you're going to feel like if you waste too much time and you lose, it feels bad. So you want a good mix. I would say maybe anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes per game tends to be a good feel. Now, it's also going to depend on, do you actually respawn? Is it like a proper battle royale where you die, and it's over? Because that will also change things quite a bit for you. I'm assuming that you will respawn because you have to actually take down the other people's base. So you will respawn. That's what I'm assuming, at least right now. I don't want a good time. I want my spells. Mac, why do you not want a good time?
And find even more cool stuff.
And you can strategize. One of the reasons why I like playing duos is because it almost feels like you get twice as many abilities, and you can strategize. You're going to be the fire pirate, and I'm going to be the arcanosphere pirate.
So do solo players and duo players play together?
So the way it works is we have all duos in a match and all solos in a match. Duos, you can also, pre-form a party with a friend and be able to get in.
Only one other person. That feels awkward. Why would you do that? Why would you not go for the standard 4? Because that's usually how battle royales work. You can have 3 to 4. 2 feels really awkward because most people that would be playing battle royales usually have a team of about 4 people that they're playing battle royales with. And now you're basically going to tell them, oh, by the way, you can't play with 3 of your other friends. Choose one.
Into the match with them as well.
I think that it would end up being a little unfair to have solo players on the battlefield with duo players, because duo players are coordinating, they're coordinating their spells and abilities. We made it really easy to use the ping system in-game so that it's really easy for you to communicate even if you're not talking with your partner. So they would already have an advantage, and we wouldn't want to disadvantage our solo player like that. I think that duos also has the revive mechanic too, which is super cool, especially if you're a player that dies first, like I tend to.
Me too. We shouldn't be on the same team.
Revive you. Absolutely.
Well, no, that wouldn't be good.
I'll be on Orlando's team.
So if your partner dies, you are able to revive them, but you're not reviving them the normal way you would revive a player in WoW. So you don't need to press any extra buttons or collect any spells or items that do this. This is actually just something that is kind of baked into the experience, that if you die, you'll have a ring around you, your partner can stand on you, and then you'll get revived and able to play the game again. Normally in World of Warcraft, when your character dies, you're looking at your character's corpse
both of you die?
And seeing a release button on there. Well, with Plunderstorm, we knew that you wouldn't be able to release. So what are you going to be doing, looking at your corpse the whole time? Well, the engineers, got together and they decided, hey, let's add spectating mode to this. So once you die, you can actually spectate your teammate until you're either revived or, unfortunately, you're eliminated. And then once your team is eliminated...
So there is full elimination. Okay, this makes it a lot more interesting. Pretty much the Battle Royale experience. And for those of you that's thinking, oh man, that's going to suck. Not really. It does actually make it a lot more fun, because if the game is over for you, it's over quickly, right? If you're just getting Goomba stomped by everyone else, it feels a lot better than basically having to just be stomped on for however long it takes for the other team to win. So it is actually a good thing overall. And yes, the fact that we now have spectator mode in this may just mean that if it works, maybe we get spectator mode in raids for the... Like, how many years have we been asking for that? The ability to actually spectate raids? That would be cool. Imagine the world first races if you no longer need to watch the streams of the streamers, but actually you have a team of people that is spectating and you can see all the different angles, even zoomed out angles. Dude, that could be fire.
Eliminated, you can spectate anybody on the entire map. So we wanted to really make sure that we're kind of introducing new things in WoW that normally wouldn't exist in, Dragonflight or in Classic or another variation of WoW, and make this pretty unique to Plunderstorm. There's other things that we kind of broke the rules on too, which was there's no fall damage.
And everyone can double jump.
Everyone can double jump.
Just things that we thought were fun.
Yeah.
Sevi, did you see this, bro? You that like killing shit so much, there's a new zone literally built for you, friend. They literally built for you to just go kill and slaughter people.
That's awesome.
These are things that we can't do in World of Warcraft, and that's intentional because that's built around a very different experience. But here we said, well, we love WoW's combat, but we want to change up how you interact with WoW's combat, and we wanted to not only make it different for fighting other players, but also fighting monsters. All the monsters have a different type of abilities that they're going to be able to attack you with. These aren't your normal just auto attack abilities whenever a mob, gets on you. These are going to be actually telegraphed abilities that you're going to see, cast in front of the monster and be able to sidestep it. Okay. So there's actual mechanics tied to all of the monsters that are in the match as well.
Like, everything has become kind of more action-oriented combat, and that's one of the things we can accomplish when it's all encapsulated within an event.
On top of that, I think a really cool part of this mode is that there's multiple layers of how you play it. So there's not only the spell acquisition, which we talked about, but also you're leveling through this experience as well. You're getting more health, and you want to get that so that you hopefully by the end of the match have enough level under your belt and enough items under your belt that you can come out on top.
I want to know what rewards can I get from Plunderstorm, because I'm a huge collector and there's got to be something cool. It's plunder after all.
Oh yeah, no, we've got a ton of rewards, a ton of intentionally pirate-themed rewards coming your way in Plunderstorm. There's 40 renown levels that you can get with Keg Legs Crew, which seems like a lot, but you're gonna zip through them pretty quickly. We want this to feel super, super rewarding, so expect to get a renown level, every 4 or 5 matches, at least a renown level a day for even your casual gamer. Every renown level that you level up has a reward associated with it. Everything that you unlock in this mode is also going to unlock in your transmog set for all of your main World of Warcraft characters.
Okay,
and then there's a couple of classic rewards in there as well. If you're a World of Warcraft classic player, you can get a pet and a mount from this.
Is there anything you're doing to make Plunderstorm fair for all players?
One of the things we started discussing early on was whether or not we would support add-ons or try to put the majority of the information players were looking for in the game.
Please, no add-ons. No add-ons. For the love of I'm begging you. No add-ons.
World and in the mode.
Yeah, World of Warcraft players are some of the smartest players in the world, and we're super excited for our players to check this out. One thing that we knew, though, is that we wanted a level playing field for all players to be able to play with.
And no add-ons.
Third-party add-ons are awesome, and they're super cool to see, and what the community comes up with is amazing. But for this, we really wanted everybody to have the same exact experience, which also made it challenging to make the event as well, because we need to make everything super obvious. When you're casting spells or you're attacking enemies, those things, we won't have any assistance from any other add-ons, so we may need to make the game really...
There we go, boys. Yes! No add-ons. Bro, such a W. Such a W. No add-ons telling you exactly when stuff spawns. No add-ons telling you where to go in order to pick it up. Oh man, this is going to be amazing.
Really streamlined and approachable in that way.
We've really spent extra time iterating on the UI and the UX, the visual effects in game to make sure everything is as clear as possible.
Is Plunderstorm...
The thing is, right, so here's why add-ons in this mode specifically would have been a major fuck-up. Because not everyone, by the way, knows about add-ons. You'd be surprised how many players play World of Warcraft who do not know about add-ons, who don't play with add-ons at all. Not to mention the fact that this can be played even for a fresh player. So someone that has never made a WoW character in their lives, maybe they sign up today for the first time in World of Warcraft for $15, they can jump into this and immediately start playing. But they will probably not know that there is such a thing as add-ons. Now imagine if that player got, teamed up against players that's playing with actual stuff like NPC scan that's a little bit revised, and now you have players running around that literally know where all of the abilities have spawned. So they can run to all of their favorite abilities and just equip that. And now they're running around every single game with the exact same build. This allows you to, basically says everyone will just get shit randomly. And if you do want that hyper-specific build every single game, you're going to have to go exploring, and you're going to have to risk running into a bunch of other players, because it's not always going to spawn in the same spots. So, it's up to you. Either learn to play with every single available build, or go around and collect your favorite build, but you may not always get that. So I do think that this is just a major W. And I imagine macros are also not enabled in this, because fundamentally you don't need macros. You only have 7 abilities. So macros would be completely unnecessary.
A recurring event?
We're really looking forward to seeing what players think of this event. It's a brand new thing for us. It's super unique and cool and different. And depending on player feedback, we will see what the future of Plunderstorm looks like. We would love to bring it back in some form. If you like Plunderstorm, please get on the forums, please get on social media. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you would like to see in a future iteration of it. I think importantly, now that we've got all this great backbone tech set up for creating these sort of in-game events, we can definitely look forward to making more in the future. So let us know.
All right, so this is the one thing that he just said that pissed me off. And I hope that he just expressed himself wrong. And if there's any developers, and I know there aren't really, but if there are any developers that watches my content, can I just say, there is nothing more frustrating for us as players beta testing the living shit out of your new features, only for you to retire the feature after the event is over. Only for that feature to now go away at the end of the patch because, well, you've forgotten that you have that feature. This needs to become a proper feature in World of Warcraft. And I don't mind if you're going to have quote-unquote seasons of it. So it's going to be online for 3 months, and then maybe you take it offline for a month, make a bunch of changes to it based on feedback from the players, and then launch it brand new for 3 months again. That is a different story. That is perfectly fine. But please do not have this where it's only for this patch, and then next patch, it basically dies in obscurity because you've removed it first and foremost. But more importantly, you just don't keep updating it. If I'm going to be beta testing your game and giving you feedback to make sure that you make the thing perfect, I don't want to lose it after, it finally exits early access and then it just never releases.
What you think?
Feedback is super important for us. It's actually something that we take very seriously, not only externally, but also internally. And we want to make sure this is a fun experience. So just like Jeremy said, get on the forums, get on social media. Let us know what you think.
I am so excited to play Plunderstorm.
I can tell you guys now, I think what's going to happen here is it's going to be a limited time event. It's going to be super popular because here's the thing, guys. Battle Royales are popular. People love Battle Royales. And if this is polished enough, people are going to go nuts for this. And people are going to play the shit out of this. There is no way that Blizzard is going to retire a feature that people love. So I imagine that in the next 2 months, maybe 2.5 months, Blizzard is going to announce that what was supposed to be a FOMO event has now turned into a permanent event that Blizzard will continuously update and bring out new things. So kind of going the way of Warzone and Apex Legends, and Fortnite, where every every 6 months or 8 months, you get a major redesign of the map. Right? And in World of Warcraft, that's not hard. You have an entire Azeroth to work with, so you can just move it to a new place on the map. And now you have a whole new meta that develops around that. So I genuinely think that this is going to be a major feature for World of Warcraft. They would need to make it free to play, though. Lakesal, that's the one thing that I highly doubt they will do. But I can see a world where they do maybe do that. I can see a world where that does happen. Especially if it is super, super exciting. Look, some of the games that make the most money are free-to-play Battle Royale games. Those games make shit tons of money. How do they make their games? Cash ups. And not by selling power, but by selling cosmetics. In most games that are first-person shooter games, cosmetics are quite limited. There's only so many cosmetics that you can buy. This isn't a first-person game. So you can literally sell any and all types of cosmetics to the players to look super cool. So I can imagine if this is super exciting and super, super successful, Blizzard ultimately going, right, this game is now going to be permanently on. It's going to go free to play, and there's a cash shop attached to it. And I don't mind. If there is a cash shop attached to it and it is a free to play version, for people to just jump in and play, I genuinely don't mind. Because again, it brings more people into World of Warcraft because someone may be playing that, really enjoying it, and thinking, "Well, let's go check out this World of Warcraft game because it's it's made in the same engine or whatever the case may be." So yeah, maybe for now we know that it's not free to play. You do need to have a subscription in order to do it, but that might just be Blizzard sort of beta testing it first before they roll it out to a larger audience, and of course while they're still working on their cash shop. Because don't forget that that's a thing. How then rewards will count for that people that play it for free? Well, what do you mean? What rewards? You mean like the transmog rewards? So the rewards that you get at the end of the game, the leveling up of your renown and stuff like that. I would imagine for free-to-play players, they obviously do unlock those transmog rewards. Let's say the renown levels. But I would say the renown levels will probably turn into a battle pass for free-to-play players. So if you do want to access the renown levels, you have to pay $7, $15. Like most battle royales, they have a battle pass, and the battle pass has some extra stuff that's baked into it. That's what I would imagine, right? make the cosmetics usable in the mode. Salkaza, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm not convinced on that. Don't quote me on it. But they did mention in this Wowcast that the cosmetics that you collect in the Renown is both available in the Battle Royale, but also available on your main game, right? So in the main World of Warcraft on all of your characters as transmog. But you can't use mounts on that event or pet. Yeah, but remember, the mount and the pet is a special item that is only available for the game itself. If you're a free-to-play player, even if you bought the battle pass, you can do something, right? So Blizzard can do something extra for people that buy the battle pass because they're not getting the mount and the pet. They get something else, like a cool outfit that they can wear. If Blizzard goes the free-to-play route, I'm not saying they will, but they could, because the thing is, most battle royales are free-to-play. So if you have a battle royale that's coming out and you want to compete in the battle royale market, players are not going to pay for that. Like, very few people are going to pay $15 a month. You have to remember, people who are playing battle royales tend to be a lot younger. Obviously, there are older people like myself who also play it, but there's also a lot of young people that play battle royales. And they're not going to pay $15 a month just to play a battle royale. That's not going to happen.